welcome to the Wise Take DFS Podcast. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. I'm joined once again with my good friend, Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie D. That's for you, Joe. That's why we call him Paulie 8Ds. Paulie, what's happening, brother?
Not too much, dude. Kind of like a day off today, Had a couple of dead football teams with no players in tonight's game, so it was like a day off, perfect, right before basketball starts. And, was just really doing a little bit of preliminary football research and some hoops research for tomorrow's slate, or actually it's today's slate now. And then a lot for Wednesday's slate, because that's a big one. And that's it, just chilling, man. How about you? How'd you do this weekend? You do all right?
No, man. Extremely, well, I should have. I was fourth and goal. I was there. And CJ Anderson. Yeah. So, how I feel about that. I think everybody in the nation probably knows how I feel about that.
Yep.
I thank you for bringing that up. I'm just kidding. That's good. But yeah, man, I was like, a lot of us were on we talked a little bit before the show. We had a lot of the right guys, some of the wrong combinations. But I am super excited. NBA's here. Dude, you decided to put out that cheat sheet. You're going to be doing those cheat sheet for us. So real quick, guys, I want to explain to you something. So this was, what was it, Friday? Is that the last day for preseason?
Yeah, Friday's
right?
Preseason.
Friday, Paulie and I had discussed, and we were, we had Paulie, his cheat sheet template built. We're going to do these cheat sheets. Paulie decides, you know what, for the nation, I'm going to go ahead and do it for free for preseason on Friday. So Paulie does it. And it just goes nuts. Literally, we made it free. You only had an hour and a half to get it. That was the whole point. It was like a quick promo thing. And everybody who got it, there was a lot of people. We got a lot of screenshots. Everybody who used the cheat sheet won money that night. It was just incredible, man. You hit it on the nose. You had like 2% min price players that just went nuts. There were like three of them at least on there. And so props, man. That was an awesome thing. So I want to let everybody know that Paulie's going to be doing this for Wise Take members only. You got to be subscribed either to the monthly All Sports package, or you got to be an NBA DFS season pass holder or NBA member. And he's going to be doing it if games of 5-game slates or more, Monday through Friday. If there's games of 5-game slates or more, Paulie's going to be doing those cheat sheets for us. So I just want to let you guys know where you can find them. But anyway, Paul, man, it's just phenomenal job, man. Those things were awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. It was cool to hit that first one, and it's a good guide for making your teams. Really cuts out a lot of the fat, points you to the right value guys, and a lot of subscribers can just take that and plug and play a couple guys and a couple lineups, and it'll do well for you. So it's a good tool.
Absolutely, man. It's especially good for people who maybe work full time and don't have time to do that research that some of us are able to do throughout the day. It just, like you said, it simplifies your process. There's obviously between the Wise streams and everything else, man, we do everything we can to keep the nation informed and keep them updated and keep them on their toes and have them ready to play. And those cheat sheets, man, it's just taking it to the next step for people who are on the daily grind, and they need something to do, or they want to win some money, whatever the case is. You don't got the time, man. Paulie D's got the solution. He's got the solution. But we got a 2-game slate. Obviously, tomorrow or Wednesday is going to be the real first NBA slate, right? This is just like a warm up. 2-game slate. We were talking before, a little disappointed. We were hoping that they would at least have 4 or 5, games to start. But we got 2, so it's just nice to have something to do during the week again, aside from just football research. It's nice to have, take a little break from football, study some basketball, then go back to the football. So it's nice.
Yep.
So we're just going to go position by position. We haven't done the pods in a little while, so got to get back on our groove thing. But we're going to go position by position on FanDuel, use FanDuel pricing, just very simplified. And we're just going to talk about some of these players at these positions and maybe talk about. Obviously, tomorrow we'll dig in, and there's only 2 games, so there's not too much to choose from, so it shouldn't take us too long.
Yep.
Paul, let's start us off with point guards. We got Steph Curry, Chris Paul, Kyrie, even Derrick Rose with Isaiah Thomas out. So we have some options here. What are your thoughts on point guard overall?
So Kyrie going back to Cleveland as the guy for Boston at 8.2 on FanDuel, is a must play for me. He's going to have revenge on his mind. and he's going to get a ton of usage, way more than he was getting last year. I think it will be very, very soon that we're seeing him at least 10K, same price as guys like John Wall. And, you got to take advantage. It's a shame it's only on a 2-game slate. He's going to be highly owned, but he is definitely, probably the most likely guy to go 5X, in my opinion, of these point guards. And if I had to choose another, it's funny, but it's probably Derrick Rose, just because of price and his role. So the big question mark is LeBron going to play tomorrow? I told you I doubt that he does. They were extremely cautious with him last year. He took a ton of rest days, even when he wasn't hurt. They conceded the 1 seed and just rested guys down the stretch instead of chasing that. So he has an actual ankle problem. It held him out of practice. He did a walkthrough today, but I'd be really surprised if he does play. So if he's out, that's a whole lot more of assists and shots for Derrick Rose. And at 5.5, a guy that's going to get that kind of role, I think he's probably the next safest guy for 5X. After that, Marcus Smart on Boston. He's going to come off the bench. That's the role he likes, but he'll probably play 30 to 35 minutes, even coming off the bench. And he's a guy that will benefit from the boost in points for steals. So, he's a guy that'll fill up the sheet. He does shoot a little. He does get steals. He gets assists, rebounds. And he'll just play a lot. And at 5.3, I could see him getting to 25 and getting at 5X. The only other 2 guys, obviously, that will be popular are Steph Curry and Chris Paul. Chris Paul coming off a little injury. I think he's fine. I think he'll play a full allotment of minutes. But at 8.8, I don't know if he's going to get you that type of value. This is a pace-up game for both teams. Last year, these were some of the top 2 pace teams, Golden State and Houston. And when you combine them against each other, there's actually a projected pace bump. And for Cleveland and Boston, while I'm on pace, Cleveland gets a big pace up. Boston actually gets a bit of a pace down. So, you want to aim for guys in pace-up spots. So, obviously this Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets game has a huge over-under. But big spread, too. I actually think Houston will stay close. But if Golden State does blow them out, you could see a lot of starters not come out for that last rotation in the fourth quarter. Whereas this Boston-Cleveland game is a 3-point spread, so you may see that game go down to the wire. So I'm going to be a little more cautious on expensive players in that Houston game and a little more liberal with the ones in the Boston game. So Steph Curry, I probably won't have much of just because I think he's too expensive. He's almost 10K, and he's not, if KD was out, then I'd be all over that. But we saw last year, he conceded his leader of the team role to KD. KD gets most of the shots. Steph will be setting him up, but he just doesn't, he's not getting those huge assists, huge point games that often. Against Houston, maybe he does, but I'm going to, I'll put my money on KD and some other guys in that game. So for me, it's probably going to be Kyrie, Rose, or Kyrie and Smart, or Derrick Rose and Smart, some combination of those 3, and probably stay away from Chris Paul and Steph Curry for the most part.
Yeah, I like the call. Especially if LeBron is out, because we know that Rose as a point guard, he's a scorer. He's not a big assist guy. He's not a big, the assists are going to be all from LeBron. LeBron's going to be the facilitator of the offense this year. So if he's out, then Derrick Rose is pretty much it's going to be like him and Love, and we don't even, I think Love is even he's a little banged up too, I think, right? So we don't even know if he's going to be a full.
Not on the injury.
Is he good? Oh,
yeah,
he's off. Okay, so he's good to go. But either way, like I was saying, Rose is not a guy that's going to pass first. As Kyrie's not a guy that plays defense, so it's kind of like a nice little correlation play to go with a guy like Kyrie and Rose. We got the narrative. Kyrie asked for a trade behind everybody's back. Now he's back. His first game. Go figure. It's in Cleveland. And now I'm with you. I don't think LeBron's going to play. If he does play, I think that definitely gets me off of Rose. But I don't think he's going to play. So assuming he's out, I'm with you, man. I like the Irving and Rose. And I think Chris Paul is going to be interesting to keep an eye on this year because of the steal factor. But I'm with you that this spot is probably not the right spot. Honestly, if this game was in Houston, I might approach it completely different. But being that the game's in Golden State, and you got a team that played very well together, obviously, and playing a team that's still this. I know they had some time, but it's still their first year playing together. So I think I'm with you there, man. I think that could get a little out of hand, and we could see some limited minutes on both ends. Because if it's a blowout, neither team are playing their stars.
Yeah,
So,
like if you're building multiple teams, build them with like both possible outcomes. Build a team based on like Houston keeping it close, and then build one based on Houston getting blown out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you'll kind of cover all your bases.
Yeah, that's a good point. Would definitely agree with that. Let's move on to shooting guard here, Paulie. Talk to me about some shooting guards. We got James Harden, we got Klay Thompson, Dwayne Wade, who is now a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. What you got here?
And it's funny, none of those guys I'm too excited about. The two that I'm most interested in playing are Terry Rozier and Jaylen Brown. They're grossly mispriced. Rozier's 3.1. He's going to be like the seventh man off the bench. And, like if you watch Boston last year, that coach doesn't like to run his starters into the ground. So the second rotation guys do get a lot of run. Rozier had a very, very good preseason, and he was awesome last year whenever he did like find a start if Isaiah was out. And at 3.1, FanDuel lowered their minimums from 3.5 to 3K, and he's 100 off the minimum. A guy that's probably going to get 20 to 25 minutes. He's a guy that can get steals, points. He's a shooter first, point guard. He's a shooting guard. 12 points, 3 assists, a rebound, 2 steals. Like that's 25 points, and that's 5x. That's 8x. So I'm definitely going to have some Rozier. And I think on a slate like this, he's a guy that can go overlooked. He'll definitely be under 10%. So that's a guy I'm going to go for value and differentiation. And then Jaylen Brown, if LeBron was playing, then I'm locking him in because he'll be there to guard LeBron for most of the game. He did it twice last year and in the playoffs, and he had a couple of monster games when he got that type of those minutes. And he's 3.7, and he's actually in the preseason, he was looking for a shot a lot more. Like last year, there'd be games where he just didn't shoot, and it was hard to get value out of him. But what I saw in the preseason, I really liked. And at 3.7, it's just great value. And I doubt many people will go with the 2 Celtics at the shooting guard spot. And I like those 2 guys the best. And I'm just going to do this in value order. That's essentially how I look at these guys. After that, Dwayne Wade, if LeBron is out, he'll kind of have a boost in usage. At 6K, I could see him getting to 30 points. He can score 20 points. He'll get a couple of rebounds, steals. I could just see him getting you to 5x. Klay Thompson is a guy that I'll have minimal exposure to, but you got to have some. He has that 1 or 2 games every month where he just goes bananas. Most of the other times he won't hit value. I expect his price to come down this year. It took a little while, I guess, for the pricing to adjust last year because he did have some of those monster games. But in the end, it was rare that he got up over 30 because he really only scores points. He doesn't get many assists. He doesn't get many rebounds. He can get a couple steals, so maybe he'll get a little boost. But he's a guy I'm not going to play too much at 6'8", give or take 1 or 2 teams, depending how many I build. James Harden, I do think is overpriced, but with guys, at his level in this pace-up game, it's not always about getting 5x, just the raw scoring, which I think he will do. So I'll have a bunch of him where I can, but he's definitely overpriced. I don't expect him to get you the triple-doubles on a nightly basis like last year because of the addition of Chris Paul and Eric Gordon's emergence in the role in the offense. So I will have Harden in spots, but not as much as the field. I'll be under the field. I just think he's overpriced. I like some of the other higher-priced guys more. And Eric Gordon, I think he's fine. I just won't have too much because I like those Boston guys better and Wade. And, for him, it's just all about if his shot is falling on DraftKings, you get a little extra bonus for the 3-pointer, so he's a better guy over there because that's the extent of what he does. He'll shoot 8 to 12 3-pointers a game. And then a sneaky player is Kyle Korver. If LeBron is out, he may be called upon for more minutes, and he's a guy that when he's hot, he just nails every shot. At 3.2, he could easily get you 5, 6x. So if LeBron's out, that's a guy that I may target a little bit.
So no Swaggy P for you.
I got to see. Like, I haven't heard like what his expected minutes are. He missed most of the
Right.
preseason.
He didn't
Like
shoot very well in the preseason.
no,
He
I
had like one
know.
good game, but he didn't shoot very well.
He was a guy that I played a bunch last year on that Lakers team when he was when like a couple guys were out and he was gonna get a
Yeah.
bigger role. He can get hot from three, and
Yeah.
I don't know what his role is gonna be here, but he is minimum priced. He's definitely another guy like Corver that could be sneaky, but the Warriors are pretty healthy right now, so like there's
Yeah.
no like opportunity for him to get more shots. It's gonna come down to how many minutes he gets. And like I don't know. Like I don't even know if he'll be the first guy in or Patrick McCaw, who did pretty well at the end of the season for these guys. So didn't
Or
mention
I think they
him.
have Benajay too.
Who?
Benajay?
Benajay.
Oh no, he got waived over the weekend. He's gone now. Michael Benny's from Syracuse. He didn't do
Oh,
much.
okay. Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Omri Caspi in the
Yeah.
forward spot. Like I don't know what the Warriors' rotation is going to be. They spent most of the preseason overseas, so
Right.
it's hard. So like if you want to get different, sure, pluck one of those guys in, but just know that they may not even play. Like I don't know if Swaggy's going to get any minutes unless it's a blowout, or he might. I'll dig in tomorrow, try and find if there's anything out there on the rotations. But as of now, I just don't know, so I've left them out.
Are you still as high on Brown if LeBron doesn't play? Like, are you interested in Brown at all if LeBron doesn't play?
Yeah, I mean he's starting, and he just does. He's very, very active. Steals, that's big on FanDuel
Yeah,
and
that's
rebound.
big.
And as I said, like I saw him going for a shot a lot more in the preseason. And at 3.7, like he could get you 6, 7 x, and that's like what you need to win these kind of tournaments. And I think he's going to be low owned. Like Harden's going to be massively owned. It's easy to fit him in on FanDuel. And then I think guys are going to go, to your Wades, to your Thompsons, so Eric Gordon's, So I just don't see the ownership being there. And like if there's a weakness for the Celtics, it's rebounding and size. And he's a guy that will go in and grab rebounds. The one like question mark is like is Tatum going to do that role? And they don't need that out of him. So we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, as
No,
the
I'm with it.
season.
I like Brown, and before I realized that LeBron was actually hurt and actually could miss this game, I was looking forward to 'cause I would obviously I still like Brown as well, but I would like him a lot better if LeBron was playing because his minutes
Yeah.
are secured.
Yep.
So I'm with you there, man. Let's move on to small forward. Obviously, LeBron's at the top of the charts. We don't expect him to play, although it's possible, I guess. We won't know because the NBA is just wonderful with giving us that kind of news, so we won't know.
I
Kevin
mean,
Durant.
I think we will know because it's the early game. We'll know, but not till like 6:30.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just preparing people for the NBA tilt that's about to.
Yep, that's about.
Yeah, it's about to go down. It gets real, and I'm still mad about CJ Anderson. Talk to me about small forward, Paulie.
So we'll just get LeBron out of the way. I do actually think he's decently priced if he is playing. He will get a few blocks and a few steals, so he's going to see that boost. And for most of the year last year, he was over 11K. They got him at 10-4 on FanDuel, and if he is going to play, and this is going to be a close game with little extra juice for each side because of the players involved in the trade for Kyrie, so I think he's worth playing. Like I'd play LeBron over Harden, based on price and usage and all that good stuff. And but that being said, I doubt he is going to play. So I'm building lineups as if he's out. And Kevin Durant is my guy to lock in. I do think Durant's going to be massively popular, especially if LeBron's out. If LeBron's in, I think Durant will be like 40. If LeBron's out, all those guys are going to pivot to Durant, and he'll be like 70% owned on this slate. So there is some merit to fading Durant. There's just like not many roads to where he doesn't get there, and he's underpriced. Like 9.8 is wrong price for him. He's involved all up and down the floor, steals, rebounds, blocks, points. Obviously, so with the boost in points, I thought his price was going to be higher, and it's not. So he's hard to fade, but on a 2-game slate, sometimes you fade that guy and he busts, and then that puts you in a good spot. So Like if I was building 3 teams, he'll be on 2, and I'll keep him off of 1. Next guy, Jeff Green. If LeBron's out, minimum price $3K. That's a guy who looks for a shot first and then looks for a shot second. And if he's gonna play, get the start. Not sure, but if LeBron's out, he will definitely get some run, and he could easily score 15 points in this game. So, he can get you 5x, no problem. Jason Tatum is interesting. I'm going to spend some time doing research on him tomorrow at 3.5K for a guy that's projected to start. It's just too cheap for a guy with his size, but he is a rookie. They tend to be erratic. I'm going to dive into him tomorrow and make a decision, but at 3.5K, it's a guy definitely to be aware of. Trevor Ariza did very well last year in games against Golden State. He's 5'6". He's like, when he's on, he'll get you 7x, but like 4 or 5 out of 7 days of the week, he'll get you 4 or 3.5x. So it's, pace up game. There's a lot of reasons to play him. But again, we just don't know how this Houston team's going to be with the addition of Chris Paul. So, I'm not too high on him. I just like guys higher priced or lower. And then Gordon Hayward is interesting. It's easy to fit at 7.6. In the preseason, I didn't see anything that said, he's a lock for 40 fantasy points on any given night. In Utah, he was the go-to guy. He's not going to be here. So, I'm a little bit bearish on him at this price. If he was 6'6", I'd be a little higher, but you essentially need him to get you 40 here. And it's a pace down spot for Boston. I'm probably not going to have too much Hayward, but, he's probably the number 2 guy for Boston, and, he'd be on one of 3 teams for me. That's about it for the small forwards.
Yeah, man, I think he made a lot of great points. Ariza's interesting because last year I think Ariza's percentage of field goals made on assists was 80% or something crazy like that. So he was a guy that I would only play with Harden because Harden was always going to get the assists. So that if you thought Ariza was going to do well, play them both. But this year it's different because you got Chris Paul, and now he could be dishing the
assists. And Eric Gordon, what that says. At 80% was Harden would drive and then kick to Ariza and he'd splash a 3, right?
Yeah.
Set shot. But now they've got, just Gordon was hurt early in the year last year, and then it was just Harden's team, and he just was only coming in as a secondary guy. They had a whole bunch of guards. They got rid of those guys, and it's him and Chris Paul are complete opposites, and he's probably going to be the step out, spot up guy. It depends, he'll definitely shoot a shot where Ariza may not.
No, yeah, exactly. So it's it's just gonna be weird to watch. One thing about Ariza that we like against Golden State is they usually leave him in there for Durant because Ariza is a guy that will play defense. So one of the few guys on that team that will play defense, aside from Chris Paul now. Well, last year. I'm talking last year. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see his role. I'm very curious to see
That's
how he's used offensively.
He would probably get a ton of minutes. I don't see anybody else out here that can guard him. I guess Luke Richard Malabute they brought in just for. They have PJ Tucker. I don't know if they would do that, PJ but he's another one. Yep. Yeah, there's a couple guys now.
So again, it's a blowout. If you think Houston's got a shot to keep this close for most of the game, or obviously Ariza's your guy, but if not, then you could look at some of these other guys like Johnson and Tucker because they're going to be coming in and they literally it's their role is very similar defensively to that of Ariza. They brought in a guy, you know what I mean? They got 2 guys that play defense a little bit. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Let's move on here and talk about some power forwards. Paulie, start us off.
All right. I think the most popular guy is going to be Kevin Love, especially if LeBron's out. Last year, when it was Kyrie, LeBron, Love, that big 3, when any one of them was out, you played the other 2. I guess that's going to be similar this year with Wade, LeBron, and Love. At 7K, especially if LeBron's out, there's many roads to him making value. I think he's a good chalk. Can't stand the guy. I don't like playing him. And, won't often during the season. He was a guy that always disappeared down the stretch. like after the first half, you'd be like, I'm on pace for 7x with this guy, and then like he'd disappear all the time.
Yeah.
And like I guess that's like a thing about fatigue, and then just like LeBron taking over as games got down the stretch. But in a game that's going to be close, and him, being one of their only large guys for rebounds, maybe a handful of blocks, like at 7K, he's just worth it. Draymond Green, I absolutely love this year. He's questionable to play. I think he will. A little bit expensive at 8.3, but probably well worth it in this pace-up game. Ryan Anderson. So last year, he just could not find a shot at home. Good thing is he's on the road. Pace-up game. I think Chris Paul benefits Ryan Anderson, and he may be called upon to do a little more rebounding in this game. So I like him at 4.7. I think, if he, especially like he hits a couple threes, he'll get a couple points off tip-in rebounds and stuff like that. If this game stays close, he'll definitely exceed value. And even if it doesn't at 4.7, he could get you to 18 points and get you to 5. I mean, about 23 points you need for 5x. He can still do that if his shot's on. So he's like a price play. Like, I don't love him, but he is a good shooter and he is on the road. So I think he's fine at that price. That's really it. If somehow Draymond's not out, David West definitely becomes interesting. He's a guy I don't think we'll see a ton of minutes. But at 3-1, when he does come in, he had a very high point per minute last year. So if he does get any bump in minutes because Draymond's out, he's definitely a guy to look to for value. And then maybe you do play a guy like Harden and Durant together. But really, it's good. I guess it's going to be Love and Anderson or Love and Draymond. If LeBron's out, then Jay Crowder is definitely interesting as well. But if LeBron plays, not too interesting. But Jay Crowder was like a 6K guy last year. So if LeBron's out, like at 4.5K, I think he's definitely worth it as well. Man, it's I guess like a Love Crowder combo could be a little contrarian. Most people just play one guy from the position, not two guys from the same team. But if with LeBron out, Crowder's just too cheap, and Love will get a ton of usage. So that could be an interesting play. I do want to play Draymond Green too, but I don't know if, unless the game goes down to the wire, I don't think he's going to get you more than 5x, but he certainly can. But he doesn't really look to his shot that much. It's just he does assists, rebounds, does everything on the floor besides that. So he's a great player, guy I want to use a lot this year. Just I think these other guys are better values, actually, Love and Crowder.
Yeah, man, I think that makes a lot of sense. And on a 2-game slate, even for Draymond, like I think you're right. Like it's good. It's hard for me to see him getting more than 5x, but like if there were no options on a 2-game slate, you could suck it up and do it. It's just like you said, there's a couple guys that we think, okay, well maybe we can see another way because like obviously on a 2-game slate, raw points at the end of the day are like more important.
They matter too. Yep.
Right, but at this point, because we do have the Crowders, the Ryan Andersons, the Kevin Loves. It's not necessarily that lock and load type play at his price.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make that point. It's definitely,
It's almost like you got to choose between either two expensive point guards or playing Harden or Draymond. Like you're not going to do all four of those. So
right.
like if I have the money, I'll probably go get Harden first. And
right.
then it would. Then it's like, do I want to play Steph or Draymond or Chris Paul or Draymond, whichever the point guard that you like and have the money for. And like if LeBron's out, like I'd just like Crowder's too cheap, so like you put him in, and then it's like Love or Draymond, but Love is 1.3K cheaper. With LeBron out, he's it's hard not to see those other two guys making like great value and just paying up somewhere else.
Yeah. No, I think it makes a lot of sense. There's a guy like we were just talking about Ariza covering Durant and all this. I completely forgot that they had Amute. He's not supposed to start from what I understand, but still, that guy is a pretty damn good defender. I mean, last year He was on the Clippers, man. He was phenomenal at shutting those guys down. Not necessarily those guys, but like the position in general. Like the DVP against the Clippers was not good against small forwards last year, and it had a lot to do with that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, he just doesn't do much else. Like very rarely will he get you even 10 points.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about playing him, but I'm talking about like thinking about Ariza. Because we're thinking about Ariza, so it's like if Ariza ain't getting it done, they'll take his ass out and put this guy in. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like maybe his minutes are not as secure against Durant as they were like last year.
What Yeah, that's a good. What do you think the projected starters are for Houston? Like it's Chris Paul, Harden, Ariza, Anderson, Capella.
I would think so. Think so because they didn't really address another.
Yeah, so it'd be like if Ariza's getting killed, they may go to Mahmoud off the bench.
Yeah, and I think it was you, or I don't know if it was you or Cash, but I think it was you who mentioned that like they had this team like that was built to beat the Warriors, like matchup wise. Like
Josh brought up that. Like,
Josh said that.
PJ Tucker and Luke Richard Mahmoud just to guard Durant.
Right. So like maybe not this first game, but at some point we could see these games even with a bigger spread like coming down. That's why I was saying like if this was in Houston, I think I'd have more interest there.
Yeah.
But it's definitely one
10-point
to keep
spread
an eye
is
on.
big.
Yeah, it's big. And I love the Crowder call if LeBron is out. We should see Crowder. He's a power forward. He's listed as a power forward, but he'll probably play the 3 if LeBron is out because that's where he played in Boston. And then you have the revenge factor playing against his old team. So it's like cheap. I think it's a great call if LeBron is out.
He was 6'6" most of the year last year, like in that 6 to 7K range. Like he's 4'5".
He's another defense guy.
Yeah,
steals,
rebounds, steals. He can shoot threes. Like LeBron's out, he's definitely making value. Like I just don't see any way he doesn't.
I agree. I 100% agree. Let's wrap this up. Talk about some centers, Paulie, and we'll wrap it up, man. Take it on.
Yeah, centers. By far, my favorite play is Clint Capella. He's going to get a ton of minutes. Golden State is weak at the center position. He's going to be playing the pick and roll with the best pick and roll point guard now, in Chris Paul. He was playing it last year and doing fine with Harden. And Paul will look to pass first in that pick and roll where Harden was looking to shoot first. So I love Clint Capella. He's 6K. Going to have a ton of him. Al Horford is interesting, but, there's just not a ton of options at center. So, like, he's going to get the ownership. And at 7-2, I don't see, much better than 5X. Like, you're looking for 36 points out of him to get 5X. 6X would be like 44. I just don't see that. Especially, like, if LeBron's out, that means Tristan Thompson will be starting at center. So, rebounds will not come easy. I just don't love his price tag. So, like, for me, if LeBron's out, Tristan Thompson becomes very interesting, although he is expensive at 5'2". Guy who does not contribute much offensively, but blocks and rebounds he will get a ton of. And with LeBron out, he'll get a ton of minutes, so he's definitely an option. He'll definitely be low owned, so got to keep an eye on for differentiation. Hilario on Houston, although he's cheap, I won't be going there. This is like a game where it's just going to be going up and down. You're just going to want your athletes, and he's the guy that they slow the pace down with. And I think Capella's just going to get a ton of minutes, and he's just not going to have too much of a role in this game. And then lastly, Channing Frye, bare minimum. Again, if LeBron's out, like a minimum price guy that, in games when one of the big three was out, he was like the guy who would become like the scorer, rebounder, and at 3K, like he could get you 8K real easily, getting you 24 FanDuel points. It's not going to be hard for him. So LeBron's out, and you want to pay up everywhere else. Grab Channing Frye at the minimum at 3K.
Yeah, again, man.
That's it.
I'm excited, man. It's a 2-game slate. I'm gonna be playing a little bit. I got to do something, man. I'm just excited. Basketball's here, so I'm gonna get it in, man. Like I was telling you, Paulie, that like as far as like for me to when I start building quality tournament lineups, like for cash games, I feel like it's pretty simple. Kind of read the field, cover yourself by playing popular guys, things like that. But like for tournaments, it takes me a few weeks to kind of like figure things out, so to speak, and kind of see the upside of what it really is. So I'm excited, man, over these next couple weeks to have basketball back and to be able to just monitor and see how it goes. I'm super excited to read your GPP, your cheat sheets, and I'm super excited to read Cash's GPP articles, man, because as we know, he's made it very clear to us that NBA is his life. Yeah. So I believe the words he used were he loves NBA like he loves his kids, and that's a serious love right there, because that man loves his kids. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just picture him just like not sleeping and watching like the Milwaukee Detroit repeat on like the NBA channel at like 4 a.m, you know,
pointing out Drummond's flaws and like just drooling over Giannis, I'm excited, man. He's gonna be doing the Y streams on Fridays, so I'm super excited. His GPP article is gonna be out. That's it, man. It's time to fire up the crew. The crew's had a nice lenient couple weeks, man. You know, all of us, you know, just football only to focus on. Back to the grind, man. I couldn't be happy. Paulie, you were telling me how much you missed the nation. You were telling me. I missed it.
I did, man. Paulie. I love that interaction. I like, you know, although I do work hard anyway on my own lineups, it just like meant more to me. I didn't want to let other people down, so I was just like always working a little extra harder, diving deeper for information, and it just made me a better player overall for myself, and it feels good when the nation wins money as well. Like when I woke up after that Friday preseason on Saturday morning, I had like 20 message tweets. I was like, the nation did good. Yeah. Feels good.
It's a phenomenal. It's a phenomenal.
Basketball is my most profitable sport by far. I made a ton of money. I had a lot of big GPP wins last year. Like 3 specific days, I won over $5,000 on like $50 in entries. You know, like massive ROI. So like, I hope to do more this year with a tremendously larger knowledge base now. Like last year, I was really just getting started taking this seriously, and I've learned a lot. So like, I think it'll translate to a lot more wins. So I'm pumped. You know, I'm pumped about basketball. I really like the sport for DFS.
Oh man, it's phenomenal. And again, guys, Paulie's going to be doing his cheat sheets real quick and simple way to set your lineups and kind of save you time on research, but still allowing you to pick your own lineups. And that's exactly what we do. Whenever there's a slate of 5 games or more, Monday through Friday, Paulie will be providing that to our Wise Take subscribers only. So make sure you head over there and check it out. Other than that, our Wise Take members will also see Paulie D on the Wise streams. You can catch him on the Wise streams, catch him in the Wise Take chat. And that's pretty much it, man. That's the way to get in. We got a ton of great content. We got NFL going strong. Yo, I tell you what, you and I and some of the team may not have done it may not have been our best week, but like some of our members had some phenomenal scores using our content, man. Yep. Like I saw some Fritz, one of our guys. Like unfortunately he put it in like a free contest with like 1 million people in it. Or was it a 10-man? I thought 36. I don't know what it was, but he had like a score of like 200.
207 on DraftKings.
207.
Like, he would have came in like first in like any of the high dollar low fields, and even in like the 444, like he would have finished top 20. Like I think it was like finish, so
crazy, man. The nation is strong, man. The nation is strong, and we appreciate the shout outs, and we're glad the content's working. But we're gonna wrap this up, guys. You'll catch me again tomorrow. We're doing these NBA pods for Monday through Friday slates once again, just like we did for baseball. So we started an NBA season, so it's coming full circle, man. I'm excited. Paulie, thanks for joining me as always, man. I look forward to working with you as I always do throughout the NBA season, man.
Yeah, me too, man. Getting started, and catch us on the Y stream, especially Wednesday, huge slate. And then as the season goes on, that Y stream is going to be critical to hearing and reacting to all the late-breaking NBA news. So it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. From 5:30 p.m. Eastern up until we say so, which probably is going to be a lot of times until lock. So, so guys, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that thumbs up. That like button means a lot to us. Head over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. If you're listening on Podbean, give us a follow. If you're listening on iTunes, give us some 5-star reviews. Help us bump up those charts a little bit. Help us get our name out there so we can further take care of and expand our nation. Because at the end of the day, we are a premium DFS community. Other than that, for Paulie, from myself, and the entire Wise Take Nation, as always, good luck.
Peace.